Shalom, shalom, family. It's your brother Shai Walk. I pray everyone is having a wonderful, blessed Sabbath today. Today we got a pretty nice lesson coming to you today. A lot of world news um, updates that are going on in the world right now, and it's starting to heat up as far as prophecy goes, as far as our deliverance goes. Um, so, without further ado, I'll go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get right into it. As you see the title, um, is the Lord God racist? The God of the Bible racist? And the FBI has found a way to declare Christians as criminals. Why is that important? Why is this important? Because this is a part of prophecy, right? Some of us have to be delivered up to the synagogues. A lot of us have to be delivered up to the courts, et cetera, to the principalities of this world to be sacrificed or martyred, for lack of better words, for Yahweh's namesake. And they are slowly finding ways to implement certain systems that they can go by to show that we are criminals by just simply teaching the Bible. Because that's all brothers do when they go out and they street teachers. They teaching the Bible. That's it. Brothers don't go outside with guns, shooting people up, going into crowds, ramming cars into different nations of people. They're not serial killers. All the brothers go out and do is teach the word of God with power. But for some reason, that's becoming a crime now. So without further ado, we'll get it cracking. I'll play this. The FBI has found a gateway to declare Christians as criminals. Federal whistleblower. Right? So someone within the FBI came out and said that they have found a way to declare Christians criminals. Now, this specific article is talking about Catholics, which we'll see, right? But if they found a way to make Catholics criminals and they the most profane sect or denomination of Christianity there is, how much more Israelites? Here we go. Salakia family. Hey, yeah, I was just about to say, Shalom to brother Wall, Shalom to sister Milka. Yeah, I just noticed that it's not coming through the volume. Um, okay, let's see. I think. Here, give me 1 second, family. I think I can get it. I can get it to play through my phone. Hold on. I just listened to it and noticed it wasn't coming through. Hold on. I'll do it this way. Bear with me, family. I'll play it through my phone for y'all. Do it this way, and then I'll check back and see if y'all can hear it. Hold on 1 second. Salaki. Okay, here we go.
The criminals are actually the victims. So who are the criminals? Well, obviously, sincere Christians. They're the real problems. Sincere Christians in the middle class, boy, they're dangerous. And the FBI, it's hard to believe this.
Okay.
That was their decent FBI agents. But the FBI as an organization has joined in the hunt for Christians. We have proof of it. The FBI tried to manufacture crimes against sincere Catholics. The FBI's Richmond field office recently published an internal document promising to punish, quote, radical traditionalist Catholics and their ideology. Now, just to make something completely clear, The Bill of Rights prohibits the government from weighing in on sectarian or religious questions. They don't get to decide whether your religion is good or bad. They have to be agnostic on it. But the FBI has decided if you're too sincere about Catholicism, you're a criminal. The document cites obvious lies from the fascist and dishonest Southern Poverty Law Center several times. Now, we only have this memo because a recently suspended FBI agent called Kyle Seraphin brought it to the public, and we're grateful that he did. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's hard to believe this is even real. This is one of those. What was your reaction when you saw this?
Well, my reaction is predictable. I mean, I'm a Catholic, number one, and I think it's appalling. It's one of those things that when the government has gotten to the point where you talked about our Second Amendment rights, and those defend our First Amendment rights to practice our religion, particularly the way that we want to. I'm friends with people who love the Latin Mass. I grew up in a traditional school where I actually learned Latin in 5th and 6th grade and all the way through high school. And it doesn't seem reasonable, but it is the state of the FBI at this point that they are so desperate to find white supremacists that they're going to look at the Catholic Church. But I think if we're realistic about it, what they're doing is they have found a gateway in what they think is fringe Catholicism in order to move into Christians in general and declare them to be the actual.
Now, notice what he just said, Salakia. Notice what he just said. He said that they are using this as a fringe to go into all Christians. So it's starting with the Catholicism, and then they're going to move into showing all Christians, going into all Christians. So it's starting with the Catholics, but they're using that. That's pretty much just like a step stool for them to declare all Christians, anybody that subscribes to the Bible, as a criminal. So again, family, this, like I always tell y'all, prophecy is just bigger than just the Israelites. When we're getting heads chopped off, it's going to be Edomites next to you. The Edomites, the country Edomites that are not going with the government, who are not getting down with anything they got going on. It's some Edomites that subscribe to this Bible too. We can't forget that. It's a lot of people that subscribe to this Bible and the teachings of it, right? Ultimately, the fulfillment of prophecy comes with us, but it's going to be way bigger than just us getting persecuted for this word. But again, like Sister Milka said, exactly, this is just a stepping stool for them to get to the Israelites. They're building, it's kind of like a RICO case or a racketeering case, but for the Bible. They're finding a way to destroy this organization or this movement. Right? Again, that's beautiful. Like Sister Milka said, they sacrificing them to get to us. They're like, man, we can take out a couple of these Edomites, but we really want Israelites. I don't know if anybody has kept up with like the BMF stuff. I just watched the BMF documentary, right? BMF was probably the biggest drug organization in American history, black-wise, besides like the Italian mob and things like that. But ultimately, they sacrificed some of the smaller little dope boys because they wanted Big Meech. They wanted Meech. They didn't really care about the dope boys. They was just, collateral damage. They wanted Meech though. And that's what this is about. We'll take the collateral damage for the small little Catholics because, they're not coming to get the Pope. The Pope ain't going to be one of them ones, right? He's not conservative, all right? They want the people to have the conservative beliefs, the old beliefs, the traditional beliefs, like no homosexuality, right? That's a sin worthy of death. No bestiality, no pedophilia, those type of things that go against the agenda that America is pushing now. They want those people. And predominantly, those people are us. We're the ones that go out and say it without a shadow of a doubt, hey, the Lord's going to destroy you if you don't stop eating that pork, that shrimp, crab, and lobster. If you don't stop being a homosexual, the Lord's going to destroy you. And now the FBI is like, man, we can't. Hey, ultimately, it's the works of the Lord and prophecy coming to pass. But they're like, we got to get these Negroes out of here. They got to die. And that's prophecy, which we're going to go into after this video. But nevertheless, notice that, let me run that back, that he said that this is pretty much a fringe. It's just a stepping stool to get to all Christians, right? I'll continue.
They are so desperate to find white supremacists that they're going to look at the Catholic Church. But I think if we're realistic about it, what they're doing is they have found a gateway in what they think is fringe Catholicism in order to move into Christians in general and declare them to be the actual
Christians in general,
the criminals in this country or the potential terrorists. And that's what I think we're seeing, because the whole document basically is written from the perspective of somebody who thinks that there are significant abortion rights that need to be defended, and also an LGBTQ agenda that has to be pushed down the American people's throats. And those
see that. And what do we do when that whole abortion thing was going on? Who was on the forefront of that, really fighting for the rights for the babies that's in the womb? Israelites. Who was the ones that's going out telling the LGBTQ community to their face that they're wicked? Israelites. So again, like he said, this is just a stepping stool to get to all Christians in general. Ultimately, the grand prize is who? The Israelites. All right, we'll finish this up.
To Catholicism. So it's pretty easy. It's an open door into Christians in this country, which is pretty much all the country.
Well, yeah, and also Orthodox Judaism and Islam and Mormonism. I mean, they're right. And did no one in the FBI say, whoa, wait a second. It's not our job to decide which is a better religion and criminalize people's religious belief. Did anyone in your world within the Bureau say that?
Well, obviously, the whistleblower who brought it to me. So I'm in contact with a number of people who work in the FBI and have the same values that probably you and I do. And so, they brought it to me. One of them brought it to me and said, this is a problem. And this person is not a Catholic. But he or she stated the very simple statement, which is that if they're going to go after radical traditional Catholics, then radical traditional Baptists are next, and radical traditional evangelicals, and anybody else that espouses essentially what is radical, which is just a Christian faith. And that is dangerous, apparently, in this country.
I'm not Catholic either. I'd be defending the Scientologists or anybody else. Like, you can't do this.
Yes.
So I appreciate bringing this to the public. Kyle Seraphin, thank you.
All right, family. You heard it here first, right? Hey, they said anything that is radical. Who is the most radical or considered the most radical Christian group in the whole world? The Hebrew Israelites. We are the most radical, according to Esau. They got whole pages in documents just for the Israelites on how radical we are. So y'all heard it here. The FBI has found a gateway to determine that anyone who holds a radical belief. And that's a good question, Sister Milka. That's what I would like to ask. What does that mean? What are they going by? What are the guidelines that they are considering radical? What are the beliefs that are considered radical? I want to know the same thing, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, all we do is read the Bible. And this is a country that is so-called founded upon Christian beliefs. Right, but we know that's a lie. We know that the God of this nation is Satan. But nevertheless, right, this is supposed to be a Christian nation. But they said that we have found a way to declare anybody who holds a radical belief system, as far as the Bible, a criminal. Right, and I want y'all to know that they're watching us. Right, let's get into it. They're watching us. The technology they have all of our faces. They got my face. Anybody that's hopping on them lives, cheering the brothers on when they're doing breakdowns, they got your face. They know who you are. And they're working to build profiles for you, right? We're going to get right into it, right? Next step in surveillance, artificial intelligence, AI. Next step in surveillance, AI. Finding out who your friends are. Finding out who your friends are. Now, brothers who do the work, we know what comes with this. We've counted the cost. We know this thing going to either come with death, persecution, exilement, whatever comes with it. We've counted the cost with this, right? We know they got our faces. Hey, Sister Milk said, if you are a Bible-believing Christian, then you are radical. Correct. Simple as that, because the Bible has radical beliefs according to this nation, right, or this kingdom. According to Babylonian belief systems, right, Sodomite and Egyptian belief system, which is pretty much what this nation is, a stirring pot or a melting pot of all those belief systems. This would be radical. Telling someone you can't be a homosexual is radical to them. That's too much. I can love who I want. Love has no boundaries. That's radical, right? Telling someone that they need to change their diet is radical. These are all things that are considered radical because it goes against or pushes against telling somebody not to marry outside of their race. That's radical. But these are all teachings of the Bible. So again, like Sister Milka said, if you got a biblical belief, you're not by nature, by default, you got to be radical if you subscribe to the Bible. Simple and plain. But I digress, right? So not only have they found a gateway to consider you a criminal and to be able to bring you up on charges of being a criminal, right? They have surveillance AI that is watching us, and it's very advanced to the point now where they have, of course, surveillance technology. They got fake birds, fake pigeons, and things of that nature. But they got stuff where they can not only recognize our face, right? But now they're trying to link people who also have relationships with us to us. And this is all for a reason. They're not just doing this just because they want upgrades in technology. No, absolutely not. And this is why being an Israelite is so frowned upon, and why they got to get it up out of here, because we can see past the smoke and mirrors. We know why they're creating this technology. They're trying to round all of us up, kill us, and get us on out of here, but it's never going to happen because this is of God, right? But nevertheless, we'll read, right? Next step in surveillance AI, finding out who your friends are, right? A gray-haired man walks through an office lobby holding a coffee cup, staring ahead as he passes the entryway. He appears unaware that he's being tracked by a network of cameras that can detect not only where he has been, but also who has been with him. Surveillance technology has long been able to identify you. Now, with help from artificial intelligence, it's trying to figure out who your friends are, right? With a few clicks, this co-appearance or correlation and analysis software can find anyone who has appeared on surveillance frames within a few minutes of the gray-haired male over the last month. Strip out those who may have been near him a time or two and zero in on a man who has appeared 14 times. The software can instantaneously mark potential interactions between the two men, now deemed likely associates, on a searchable calendar. So not only are they tracking who you have been with, they're tracking everyone that is around you in your group, and they're singling out and zero in on people who are with you the most frequent. And they can do that within months, time frames, in months. They can see, okay, this guy, maybe he was only with him for a couple weeks, but he's been with this guy for 2 whole months. That's got to be one of his partners. He got them friends on just like him. He got a beard just like him. Yeah, they got to be Israelites together. So why am I saying this? Because you can't hide. It's going to come a time where you cannot hide being an Israelite anymore. You either going to have to go with the Most High Yahweh Shai, or you not. You're going to have to choose. It's going to come a time where those two masters you're going to have to choose one. That's the point of me bringing this out. You can't, it's a lot of people that's, treading the fence. They got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's going to come a time where you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to jump in that water, neck deep. Right? Read on. Ventra, the San Jose-based company that showed off the technology in an industry video presentation last year, sells the co-appearance feature as part of an array of video analysis tools. The firm boasts on its website about relationships with the San Francisco 49ers and a Florida police department. The Internal Revenue Service and additional police departments across the country have paid for Ventra's services, according to a government contracting database. Right, so they're giving this technology to the police department too. You can't get away. Hey, didn't the scriptures describe Esau as that eagle? Right? He's trying to be like the Most High. He wants to see everything. He wants to know everything. He wants to be omnipotent. This is the devil that you're dealing with. Brothers keep trying to downplay Esau. I'm telling y'all, this dude is not a fool, man. He's not a fool. Right? Read on. Although co-appearance technology is already used by authoritarian regimes such as China's, Ventra seems to be the first company marketing it in the West, industry specialists say. And yeah, they already got this technology, and they're actually using this technology already in China. And you can look that up. Right? China, they have it to the point where they got certain scans where I believe like when you go into a store and they make it easy to ban people, and they already got like the whole chip thing where you got to wave to get into buildings and whatnot. They have that already in China right now. The West hasn't adopted it yet, but it's coming to that point where America is going to hop on board. This one world government, all this war, that's all smoke and mirrors, man. They're trying to make a one world government. The elites, the principalities that are in dark places that Paul speaks about, they trying to make this thing one. All right, all this extracurricular, that's smoke and mirrors. That's distraction, right? Read on, but the firm is one of many testing new AI and surveillance applications with little public scrutiny and few formal safeguards against invasions of privacy. In January, for example, New York State officials criticized the firm that owns Madison Square Garden for using facial recognition technology to ban employees of law firms that have sued the company from attending events at the arena. Excuse me. Industry experts and watchdogs say that if the co-appearance tool is not in use now, and one analyst expressed certainty that it will probably become more reliable and more widely available as artificial intelligence capabilities advance. None of the entities that do business with Venture that were contacted by the Times acknowledged using the co-appearance feature in Venture's software package, but some did not explicitly rule it out. So, family, again, they're creating technology that's going to be able to identify you, and then it's going to put a mark on you. Ooh, okay. It's going to have your face. People you're associated with, they're going to have their face, and it will be used to keep you from going into places. I let that marinate. Reading on, this thing is getting deep, right? China's government, which has been the most aggressive in using surveillance and AI to control its population, uses co-appearance searches to spot protesters and dissidents by merging video with a vast network of databases. Something Ventura and its clients would not be able to do, said Connor Healy, director of government research for IPVM, the surveillance research group that hosted Ventura's presentation last year. Ventura's technology could be used to create a more basic version of that Chinese government's capabilities, he said. Some state and local governments in the U.S. restrict the use of facial recognition, especially in policing, but no federal law applies. No laws expressly prohibit police from using co-appearance searches such as Ventura's, but it's an open question. So this technology is not illegal. And they already using it. If you got an iPhone and you use facial recognition, they already got your stuff anyway. Sorry to break that to you. But nevertheless, read on. Whether doing so would violate constitutionally protected rights of free assembly and protections against unauthorized searches. According to Claire Garvey, a specialist in surveillance technology with the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, few states have any restrictions on how private entities use facial recognition. This is deep. The Los Angeles Police Department entered a predictive policing program known as PredPol in 2020 amid criticism that it was not stopping crime and led to heavier policing of Black and Latino. Let me read that again. The Los Angeles Police Department entered a predictive policing program known as PredPol in 2020 in criticism that it was not stopping crime and led to heavier policing of Black and Latino neighborhoods. The program used AI to analyze vast troves of data, including suspected gang affiliations, in an effort to predict in real time where property crimes might happen. In the absence of national laws, many police departments and private companies have to weigh the balance of security and privacy on their own. So basically, family, these people, they don't have any restrictions on this technology. There are no laws against it. They can use it however they please. It's basically up to their own discretion how they're going to use your facial recognition and the information they gain from having that in the people around you. It's going to come a time where we're going to have to choose whether you're with the Most High or you're not. Simple as that. It's going to come a time where you're going to go to the store one day and they're going to be like, Ashari Ruwak, aka William Price. He's an Israelite. You cannot buy here. It's going to come a time where you're going to have to get down and have full faith in the Most High, or you're going to succumb to the beast system and you're going to ride with Satan. You better start making your mind up now. Better make your mind up now. Right? Read on. In the absence of that, here we go. This is the Orwellian future comes to life, and Senator Edward J. Markey, a Massachusetts Democrat, a deeply alarming surveillance state where you're tracked, marked, and categorized for use by public and private sector entities that you have no knowledge of. So it could be private entities that are using your face and the information that they gain from your face for whatever they want to. But we just willingly put that facial recognition on our iPhones. Hey, family, you gotta. Scripture say to be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, is seeking whom he may devour like a roaring lion. Right, moving on. Marquis plans to reintroduce a bill in the coming weeks that will halt the use of facial recognition and biometric technologies, right? Meaning fingerprints, face recognitions, hair, anything that can get biometrics, right? Where was that? Biometric technologies by federal law enforcement and require local and state governments to ban them as a condition of winning federal grants. For now, some departments say they don't have to make a choice because of reliability concerns, but as technology advances, they will. Ventura executives did not return multiple calls and emails from the Times, but the company chief executive Brent Boykenstein was expansive about potential use of technology during the video presentation with IPVM. You can go up here and create a target. Salakia. You can go up here and create a target based off of this guy and then see who this guy's hanging out with. Boykenstein said you can really start building out a network. He added that 96% of the time there's no event that security is interested in, but there's always information that the system is generating. Right, and I'll end right there on that. Right. Khan. Shalom, Sister Lasha said Black Mirror, the show on Netflix, has an episode about the social credit score. Yep, I watched the episode. Right, and people were going crazy about that. Right, they would go out and they'll do something and their credit score drop. Beep, 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 beep. 30 points. Now you're an outcast, or you do something crazy and then they're up at 100 points and now you're a celebrity. Come on, I saw the episode. If you haven't seen Black Mirror is amazing to what they're going to do. They don't. I want y'all to understand that Esau does not make movies, sci-fi. He don't make these crazy Hollywood movies for no reason. He doesn't pull those ideas out of his anus. They have this technology. They have it already. I want to show y'all something. Let me share my screen again, right? I'm going to give y'all this source, and you can do with it as you will. I've given y'all know I love giving y'all sources to go find information. Go look it up on your own. I'm gonna give you the tools to fish. I'm not gonna just feed you, but I'm gonna show you how to feed yourself, right? Sister Milka said, I heard you will be assigned to district and you can't leave yours without permission. And that's prophecy in Second Esdras. You won't be able to leave the city, right? If you have a low social credit score, you won't be allowed. Exactly. And like I said, China already has this technology and already implementing this technology in China. It's just everything that the East is doing, the West is just drawing it out. They have the technology, they're just drawing it out. So don't think for a second that what you see over there is not coming here, because it is, right? But I want to give y'all this, right? Let me pull up a separate. Here we go. Right. So this is a website for declassified documents from the CIA and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, otherwise known as the FBI. Declassified documents for the Central Intelligence Agency and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? Guides.loc.gov, right? And I read some of these documents from time to time. It's so many. But if y'all don't think that Esau has technology that is beyond your wildest imagination, and they've had this since World War I. I don't know if y'all looked into the 1942 Roswell incident. Y'all need. I'll just put it like this. I'm gonna give y'all this information and y'all go look and y'all can do what y'all want to. This is the website right here, guys.local.gov, right? Gov, a government website, right, for declassified documents, right? And these two you got to pay for little subscriptions or whatnot. But I use these down here, right? CIA Freedom of Information Act, right? Boom. These are declassified CIA government documents, right? Let me see. Let me pull down. Salakia. Boom. Bro. All of these are declassified documents. And y'all go read them at your own will, right? They got all the declassified documents from 9/11 showing it was an inside job. We're not conspiracy theorists, right? We have the information and we know where to get it from now. right? You got declassified documents from the Nixon administration, John F. Kennedy administration with the UAPs or UFOs, right? UFO, fact or fiction, flying saucers, German scientist article, and flying disc. All of this is there for you, family. The technology these devils have is insane, 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 right? And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. This is the website that'll bring you to this, right? Department of State, Freedom Act, the FBI records, right? Here it's the FBI vault, declassified documents. Boom, you can read it all here. But I wanted y'all to have, yeah, it's real out here. It's real out here. It's real out here. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me I'll put it in the chat for y'all. I'll put it in the chat for y'all, and y'all go read this when you want to, right? But you know your boy Shire got your back. I mean, I'm gonna show you where to get that info from for sure. Here we go. Let me post it in the chat for y'all. Boom, there it is. Y'all copy that link, put it in your notes, and hey, have fun. These devils got the information is here for us. This is what I always, when I come on here, I try not to hold the mind and keep the chains on the mind, right? I want y'all to do y'all's go read this information. It's like it's almost enough to make you go crazy, like the stuff they got. But that's why it's so important being an Israelite, because we have the God of the universe on our side. And we don't really have to worry about none of the technology. They have made and got all this technology and used it so that they can try to fight Yahushua. That's what this whole thing's about. That's the whole end. That's the end all be all. They tried to get all this UFO technology, which I'm gonna drop a spiritual gem on y'all. The white man has UFO technology. They have technology that they can fly UFO flying saucers. They have that. Everything you see, that's why I don't be reposting all these UFO videos that brothers and sisters be posting, bro. Because they have that technology. Esau, he has it. I'll show y'all. It's a guy on here. I'll post this for you. I had this lesson to go one way, but through the spirit, it's going another way. So I'm gonna ride with the spirit. I'm not gonna quench it. I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all something today. Khan, y'all welcome. Hey, all praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Let me go to YouTube. I'm gonna show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. Right, so it's this guy, ex-Navy SEAL, SEAL Team 6 guy, Sean Ryan, right? He lives in Nashville, Tennessee, a couple hours away from where I watch a lot of his stuff, as y'all can tell. I watch a lot of his stuff because he has firsthand account people that was in the mix on his channel, and he interviews these people. First-hand accounts, primary sources, if you will, scholastically speaking. He has primary sources of people that were in these situations. It's a guy right here named Dr. Stephen Greer, another Edomite. I'm not gonna play the video because it's hours. The whole thing, though. I watched it. This guy, and y'all can look this guy up, Dr. Stephen Greer. He has a couple of documentaries. I haven't watched all of them yet. I'm gonna start watching his documentaries though. But he goes into this UAP, UFO phenomenon, right? He goes into it deep. He has all the information. Right, he sat in a room with congressmen. He sat in a room with Senate. He's briefed the president before on this. He's briefed the president of the United States on the UFO phenomenon. A guy named Stephen Greer. I'm going to show you what he looked like. This is him right here, Dr. Stephen Greer, an old Edomite man. He was an ex-military combat doctor, combat trauma doctor in the Army, right? And somehow he ended up on this information about the UFOs. He had an encounter, et cetera, et cetera. But he has whistleblowing information to the point where he's had assassination attempts on his life for the information he has on this. And y'all can look this guy up. Y'all can look this guy up on your own time. But I wanted to show y'all that. Now I'm going too deep into it, right? Now I'm going too deep because it's a very, very, very steep rabbit hole. But nevertheless, this is why I don't share, and we're gonna get into the scriptures here in just a second on why I do that. Also, we're gonna get into the scriptures. But this is why I don't share those UFO videos. I don't share those UFO videos. Exactly. The Edomites are the ones that do the whistleblowing. Exactly. Because they don't like these, because Christ talked about this. Let's go to Ephesians, right? Let's get into the scriptures now. Through the Spirit. Let's get into the scriptures now. Let's go to Ephesians. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6. In verse 12. One of my favorite scriptures, right? Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. Exactly. Their pride has deceived them. They're so prideful with the information and technology they have, it deceived them. The Lord's going to expose them. Right? But nevertheless, this is what the scriptures say. This is Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. What that God that I just showed y'all, Dr. Stephen Greer, went into, is that the U.S. government, what we know as the government, doesn't even have the information on the UFOs and the technology that what is known as the deep state or the dark government or the shadow world, what they are working with. Now, this is the real deal. This is not surface level stuff here. This gets deep, right? People lose their lives over information like this, but it's there for you to have. But nevertheless, the government, the president of the United States only has a select bit of information as far as these phenomena go. The president of the United States only has that much information. The projects that they do with these UFOs and these UAPs and like the particle accelerator with CERN, stuff like that, that's deep state stuff. That's that's evil people with a lot of money. The government doesn't even know what's going on with that. They're in the dark on a lot of that stuff. The government don't even know half the stuff that's going on with these people. Right? The Bohemian Grove councils, those people, yeah. Those are the ones, those are those principalities that Ephesians 6 and 12 is going into. Those people. Right? The people that really have the power, the people that the puppet masters of the government, those people. Those are the people that we have to fight against with prayer and with righteousness. Those are the people that are implementing these wicked agendas like the Gay Manifesto. Right? Let me get that too. Through the Spirit. Through the Spirit. Wow, this lesson is not going how I intended it to, but this is what we're going into through the Spirit. I ain't been on here in a while, and I got to get this off my chest. I want to show y'all some stuff today. Right? I don't know if y'all are familiar with this. This is a manifesto, right? This is a piece of government legislature, right? The Gay Manifesto, right? This is insane. The Gay Manifesto. This is from LibCon. Actually, I want it on a different website. Let me see. Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll do it on here. UCG.org. I can't remember which one I read it on. Okay, we'll read it on LibCon. I think it'll give me the PDF. This is known as the Gay Manifesto by a man named Carl Whitman. Right? It's called the Gay Manifesto. Right now, I'll read it for you guys. A radical manifesto for gay liberation published by the Marxist cell of the U.S. Gay Liberation Front in 1970. This is stuff they was talking back in. The stuff you see now, it's not new. They have been planning this whole pushing the agenda in the cartoons, pushing the agenda in the mass media, pushing the agenda with the whole LGBTQ movement that you see right now. This is not new. This was all planned, right? This is the Gay Manifesto. I'm gonna read a little bit for you. Right, and it reads, San Francisco is a refugee camp for homosexuals. We have fled here from every part of the nation. And like refugees elsewhere, we came not because it is so great here, but because it was so bad there. By the tens of thousands, we fled small towns where to be ourselves would endanger our jobs and any hope of a decent life. We have fled from blackmailing cops, from families who disowned or tolerated us. We have been drummed out of the armed services, thrown out of schools, fired from jobs, beaten by punks and policemen. And we have formed a ghetto out of self-protection, right? These are homosexuals who created a ghetto or a community of their own. This is back in 1970, right? Just follow me, family. It is a ghetto rather than a free territory because it is still theirs. Straight cops patrol us, straight legislators govern us, straight employees keep us in line, straight money exploits us. We have pretended everything is okay because we haven't been able to see how to change it. We've been afraid, right? In the past year, there have been an awakening of gay liberation ideas and energy. How it began, we don't know. Maybe we were inspired by Black people. We have been inspired by Black people. Most of Jake and Eve are the ones that keep this homosexuality alive. And we're going to get into the scriptures, but through the Spirit, the Holy Spirit wants me to bring these articles out to you, but we're going to get into the scriptures on all this, right? And their freedom movement. They infiltrated Black Lives Matter because of this. This was not a floozy. It just didn't happen out of nowhere. It was literally planned out for the LGBTQ to infiltrate Black Lives Matter. I'm going to read that again slowly. In the past year, there's been an awakening of gay liberation ideas and energy. How it began, we don't know. Maybe we were inspired by Black people in their freedom movement. We learned how to stop pretending from the hip revolution. America in all its ugliness has surfaced with the war in our national leaders, and we are revulsed by the quality of our ghetto life. Where once there was frustration, alienation, cynicism. I think that's how you pronounce that. What does that mean? Slacky family. I gotta know stuff. Oh, Salakia. Let's see. Cynism. Oh, cynicism. And inclination to believe that people are motivated purely by self-interest, skepticism. Okay, got it. There are new characteristics among us. We are full of love for each other and are showing it. We are full of anger at what has been done to us. And as we recall all the self-censorship and repression for so many years, a reservoir of tears pours out of our eyes. These are homosexuals. These are homosexuals that have this belief system. They act like they us. Your sexuality, when we were in slavery because of our skin color, not our sexual orientation, right? I'm not going to go into that. But nevertheless, all right. Now, let me see if I can find Salakia family. It's a part in here about the children that I read. Okay, let me see. Salakia. Okay, here we go. I think this is what I want right here. All right. Part 4, chickens and studs. And y'all can go read this when y'all want to. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. That's not what I was wanting to do. I was trying to find this part. I think this is the part I want. But if not, I'll go back. And because I'm actually preparing a lesson around this whole gay agenda in America. How it's bigger than just the homosexuality that they got going on. But nevertheless, chickens and studs. Face it, nice bodies and young bodies are attributes. They're groovy. They are inspiration for art, for spiritual elevation, for good sex. Pause. Young bodies. Okay. The problem arises only in the inability to relate to people of the same age or people who don't fit the plastic stereotypes of the good body. At that point, objectification eclipses people and expresses self-hatred. I hate gay people and I don't like myself, but if a stud or chicken wants to make it with me, I can pretend I'm someone other than me. A note on exploitation of children. Kids can take care of themselves and are sexual beings way earlier than we like to admit. When I read stuff like this, you get to understand the psyche of these people. It's not about, they don't necessarily want the older people. They want your children. They want your children. Right? Read on. Those of us who began cruising in early adolescence know this. And we were doing the cruising, not being debauched by dirty old men. Scandals such as the one in Boise, Idaho, blaming a ring of homosexuals for perverting their youth, are the fabrications of press and police and politicians. And as for child molesting, that overwhelming account is done by straight guys to little girls. It is not particularly a gay problem and is caused by the frustration resulting from anti-sex puritanism. And we know that to be false because we know most of these child abductions and the rings that go around pedophilia is from homosexuals. They want little kids pedophiles, and they want little boys, and the women want little girls, right? And I'm going to go into that at a later time. But nevertheless, I want to show y'all this. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Con. Exactly. Esau is patient. He's patient. And he is a cunning hunter. He lays in wait and seeks your steps. Exactly. They've been planning this stuff since way back. Way back. And now it's just coming into fruition. That's what I was telling people about when the jab, or I don't want to get my channel struck, but y'all know the stuff we just went through as far as the pestilence that just happened. That was planned. That wasn't a fluke, or it just came out of nowhere. They were planning to release that thing. So I bring this out to show you guys the devil you're dealing with has been planning these things out for hundreds of years. The things that we deal with now are not new. He is a cunning hunter. The Lord already gave us the characteristics of Esau, right? He lays in wait and seeks our steps, right? All right, now we're going to go into the scriptures, right? We're going to go into the scriptures. Now let's go to Matthew 24. Let's go to Matthew 24. Because Christ already prophesied all this to come to pass, right? Matthew 24 and verse 9. Matthew 24 and verse 9, right? And it reads, "Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." So again, Yahushua said, hey, all this craziness that's going on now, it's going to happen, right? Them creating fake imaginary laws, just coming up with stuff to destroy, to put Christians in prison and ultimately kill them, right? You're going to have to go through that. But ultimately, those that endure unto the end, strive for the truth until death, Sirach 4:28, those shall be saved. That's where your faith comes from, right? Us enduring is going to bring us salvation. And some of us are going to have to go through it. It just is what it is. We don't know what our lot is. We don't know if we're going to have to do it. But that's why we have to be building ourselves up now to go through the things that are going to happen. Because this is easy right now. The stuff we go through now with jobs, cars, etc., that's light affliction. That's light affliction. This has the stuff we go through in this dispensation right now is not going to compare to what we're going to have to see in the coming days. And that's why I'm doing this lesson. I want y'all to be start mentally preparing yourself to go through what we're going to have to go through. And that's why I read all of these documents for y'all. And that's why I gave y'all the stuff for y'all to go and look at for the stuff that is going to come to pass. This is stuff that they have been planning and have the technology for, just ain't dropped it yet. That's why I read that artificial intelligence, because the stuff they got in China right now, that stuff is going to go tenfold in America. Y'all know America, everything they do, they got to do it bigger than everybody else. So when they drop that information, the technology here, oh, best believe that's when the end is here. When Babylon really, yeah, we in here now. We with y'all. Okay, our time is here. Come on, and it's coming fast. That's why it's important for us to keep up with the times that we living in, right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras. And this is through the Spirit. Now, I had a lesson prepared for y'all, but through the Spirit, that's not how the Spirit wanted me to go. I had a lesson right here on my paper, and I'm going completely off of it. But nevertheless, for most of it, they have already signed the laws to do it. Exactly. So for the most part, they already got executive orders and things like that they're already pushing through Senate and Congress and the judicial system for it to come to pass so that they can come and get us. Simple. Because it's the agenda. It's prophecy. It has to happen. Right? The 2nd Esdras chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." And we see it was an earthquake. One of the sister brothers in the chat can help me. I believe it was in Turkey, a huge earthquake where I think like almost 1,000 people died. I may be butchering that. Let me pull it up. I may be butchering that, but it was just a huge earthquake that just happened in Turkey. Earthquake. Okay, yeah, here it is. International Rescue Committee. Okay, so they had to call the International Rescue Community for that. Here we see Turkey earthquake. Sure, let's go into it. We're going into it today. Let me share my screen. Through the Spirit. Right? Prophecy. Right? Here we go. This BBC.com. Here we go. Turkey earthquake. Where did it hit? And why was it so deadly? So this was back in February. Right? Why was it so deadly? The first earthquake was big. It registered as 7.8, classified as major on the official magnitude scale. It broke along with 100 kilometers of fault line, causing serious damage to buildings near the fault. Professional Joanna Farr Walker, head of the Institute of Risk and Disaster Reduction at University College London, said, of the deadliest earthquakes in any given year, only 2 in the last 10 years have been of equivalent magnitude, and 4 in the previous 10 years. But it is not only the power of the tremor that caused devastation. Excuse me. This incident occurred in the early hours of the morning when people were inside and sleeping. And doesn't the scripture say that? Let me get that. Let me pull that up. Here we go. This is what I want. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3, and it reads, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. That's exactly what happened here. The Lord is not playing with these. The Lord's not playing with the earth, right? It says that it came in the morning while people were inside and sleeping. And that's how the destruction is going to come on this earth. When everybody's chilling, you know, it's going to be a nice, smooth, and a cooler day in the earth. Everybody going to be chilling, and then destruction comes. That's what happened. The biggest earthquake in 10 years' time came when people was in the house sleeping early in the morning when you weren't expecting it. That's how the Most High get down. Right? Reading on. Dr. Carmen Solana, reader in volcanology and risk communication at the University of Portsmouth, says the resistant infrastructure is unfortunately patchy in South Turkey and especially Syria. So saving lives now mostly relies on response. The next 24 hours are crucial to find survivors. After 48 hours, the number of survivors decreases enormously. This was a region where there had not been a major earthquake for more than 200 years or any warning signs. Again, what does the scripture say? The Bible is so cold. For when they shall say peace and safety, we ain't had nothing going on in 200 years. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Hey, the Lord, yo. Sister Barb said over 4,000 people died. There you go. Hey, the Lord is not playing with this earth. He's not playing at all. Hey, shalom to the Mecca. Godspeed, kings. Hey, the Lord is not playing. The Lord is not playing with these people. All the prophecy is coming to pass now. Are y'all going to be ready? And ultimately, through the Spirit, I had a lesson prepared, but I went completely left through the Spirit. I followed the Spirit. Are y'all going to be ready for when Yahushua comes back? And this is what your thought frame should be. They got the technology. They got the laws coming to pass where they're going to start locking us up. They're already finding ways. Federal whistleblowers coming out and telling us that. They got the artificial intelligence that has our facial recognition. Going to come a time where you can't go out and do the things that you once did. You got earthquakes, rumors of wars and wars going on. All of this stuff is coming to pass. This is all the beginning of sorrows. Right? And I'll end on this. We've been on here for an hour already. Let me get this. Sirach chapter 4 and verse 28. And it reads, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Shalom, Brother Gadal. Shalom to the Akim. And y'all came on kind of late. I was going into some information today. Some information for the nation. You did. All right, but nevertheless, family. Let me see. I think I got. Make sure I didn't have nothing else. Oh, I am gonna go into this before we leave. I'm gonna go into this too through the Spirit. I just had to go into that beforehand. Now it's through the Spirit, right? It's Lord God racist. It's God racist. Most people in the chat can attest that God is definitely a separatist, right? And let's get the definition on some of these things, right? Let me share my screen for you. I'm gonna go into this, and then we'll be done. Let me go into this. Been on here an hour. All right, come on, here we go. God, the sister said they was turned up for Nicanor last night, sleeping in. God, hey, brothers got to get up. This is Saturday. You got to shake back. You know what I'm talking about? Con, yeah, it's Sister Barbara. It's a lot of info that I just pulled out, and I didn't even intend on doing that. I didn't even intend. The information I brought today was not on my list, but through the Spirit, I had to. Right. Nevertheless, definition of racist. Right. Let me zoom in on that. Racist. Right. Characterized by or showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person or people, aka nation, on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Now, let's get the definition of prejudice, right? Prejudice, preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. And let me get antagonism as well. Let's see. Antagonism. Active hostility or opposition. Now, if you read the Bible, you know the Lord is very adverse to many different nations, right? Many different nations, right? Let's get the classic first. Let's get the classic first. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse 13. Classic. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Esau is Edom. Edom is a nation of people, as we know, as the so-called white men, and God hates them. That would make God prejudiced or racist or an antagonistic against his people. I mean, I don't understand. There's no doctrine in the world that a Christian can bring to me to show me that God loves everybody. But I'll show you what they will show you. Right? Let's go to 1 John. They love to bring this out right here. This is their favorite. This is a Christian favorite right here. This is 1 John chapter 4 and verse 16. And the reason we have known and believed the love that God hath to us. And again, this is also important to understand, which Rot has been going into amazingly in our soldiers class and what he's about to start doing with the women. Why it's important to understand context and who is writing the books in the Bible, who their audience is. Right? The audience of John is Israelites. He's teaching Israelites. So his message is to Israelites. Him and Peter. I mean, but nevertheless, we're going to keep reading. 1 John 4 and 16. And we have known and believed the love that God had to us. God is love. And they're going to stop right there. God is love, brother. God loves everybody. 1 John 3 and 16, brother. I mean, John 3:16, brother. That's madness. We just read Romans 9:13 where God literally said, I hate this nation of people. I hate them. I hate them. Right, let's get another one. We're going to get some classes, right? Let's get Deuteronomy 7, and we're going to start at verse 1 now. Because the Lord has laws that we cannot even deal with specific nations of people like at all. We can't make marriages with them. We can't be around them. We are not supposed to be with these people at all. Right, this is Deuteronomy 7 and 1. And it reads, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. That sounds pretty damn racist and radical. Remember, Hey, the FBI coming for the radicals. God is radical. Exactly. And we in the truth dealing with them, married to them, and they in our congregation. Exactly. That's madness. That's madness. Exactly. So, but the Lord has it set up where we can't even deal with certain nations. We have to be separated completely from them. And not only do we have to be separated from them, we have to kill them and show no mercy. So that's old, young, and in the middle. Everybody getting it. Everybody got to die. And that's what God said. That's his instruction to us. Read on. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. Right, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And when you get that full context of Deuteronomy 7, that shows you even more so that he's saying you're better than not only these people that I just listed in verse 1, but everybody on the planet. That's racist. That's a racist statement. That's a racist, prejudice, discriminatory statement. That's racist and discriminatory, right? But it gets better. It's gonna get really, 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 really bad, right? Let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's get Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 12. Let's get Tobit 4 and 12. Right, this is the book of Tobit. Khan, Sister Milka said, hey, all those found joined hand in hand with the heathen are going to be thrust through when Yahushua comes back. Khan, big Khan. So if you found being buddy, you marry, hey, you're going to get put to death. That's pretty racist, but it is what it is. That's what God said. So inherently, that would make me a racist because I believe and I trust and I follow every word in the book. I love what God loves and I hate what God hates. Simple. That's a radical statement. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with that. Right? And we're going to get that in Wisdom of Solomon next, right? This Tobit chapter 4 and 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. Meaning, don't go marry a white woman. Don't go marry an Asian woman. Don't go marry an East Indian woman. Right? Which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. Their seed shall inherit the land. So the Lord is telling you to keep your seed pure. Rata went into that a couple weeks ago. Phenomenal lesson if you haven't went to go watch it about the generations and seed, right? Regeneration. That's an excellent lesson. He went into this. You mixing the holy seed with unholy, profane seed. And not only that, this goes back to Leviticus in the law, not mixing your seed with diverse seeds. That's spiritual too. Everything got a double meaning, as Job teaches us. Know ye not that these things are double to that which is? Exactly. Brother Goodall said it perfectly. Our women come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. They light, they red, they yellow, they brown, they dark. Pick. All shapes and sizes. It's called the Eve gene, where the black woman literally has the mitochondrial cellular makeup to create any color. She can make any child. Choose. We got plenty. What you need to go get an Asian woman, East Indian woman for? We got them all. Choose. But you know, brothers inherently wicked. We want to be like the other nations. It seems like the grass is greener on the other side. Right? Nevertheless. Okay, let me get that Wisdom of Solomon. Here we go. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter. Oh yeah, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 7. It's like Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 7. And this for the people that don't like these type of scriptures. that something kind of gets pricked in your heart when these scriptures come out, and you got to accept the judgment of the Heavenly Father. You have to, right? This is Wisdom of Solomon 18 and verse 7, and it reads, so of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies. You got to accept our salvation as Israelites, that we are going to be the top nation, and you got to accept the fact that the Most High is not dealing with the other nation and they're going to be destroyed. You got to deal with that. Simple and plain. You have to deal with the fact, you have to accept the fact God is racist. He hates the other nations, loves you. That simple, right? Moving on. Now let's go to Sirach chapter 26 and verse 19, where it gets real nice and juicy. Real nice and juicy, right? Sirach chapter 26 and verse 19, and it reads, my son, keep the flower of thine age sound, and give not thy strength to strangers, heathens. Your strength, your seed, right? Your seed of copulation, right? Verse 20, when thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock, so that what? So thy race which thou leavest shall be magnified, having the confidence of their good descent. That's powerful. The Lord is telling you, make your race strong. Focus on your people. Focus on your race. Have children with your own people. I know a lot of mixed people. A lot of them, black and white. And I'm speaking to black and white people specifically, right? They're crazy. They have like this identity crisis that all of them go through. And eventually, as the course of time goes on, they either have to choose their white side or their black side. When you got two black parents, you ain't got to do that. I'm black. I'm an Israelite. But when you mix, you have this like identity crisis, and something be wrong. Something don't chemically be unbalanced in mixed people. I'm telling you. And that's spiritual, because you're mixing the holy seed with the unholy seed. Right? It doesn't mix well. And I know a lot of mixed people, and they go through this. Like, I went to school with them. When I was in school with them, they used to try to act black and be with us. And then when they got older, it was with the country white folks. And I live in the South, so that whole separation that has to go down, it has to happen. Like, you got to choose a side down here. Like, especially with people like me, you got to choose a side, bro. It ain't no in between. Like, either you with them or you with us. Simple, right? It's just no to say. Yes, it does seem like the grass is green on the other side, but what they don't realize is it ain't even grass that is on the other side. It ain't even grass over there. They heathen. Like, that's dirt. That's dirt that you're dealing with. You're dealing with dogs. Exactly. It ain't even grass over there. You're going to straight gravel, concrete. You know what I'm saying? So, nevertheless, I love that scripture of Wisdom of Solomon 18, because a lot of people get pricked and they don't really like the fact that God operates the way he operates. But nevertheless, you got to accept that. You got to accept the destruction of the wicked, and you got to accept the salvation of the righteous. Right now, in on this Matthew 25. I'll end on this Matthew 25. And I pray this lesson was edifying to y'all, right, through the spirit and power of the Heavenly Father and his Son of my Shak Yahushua. Right, it's Matthew 25. Matthew 25 and verse I'm gonna start at verse Matthew 25 and verse 31. And it reads, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another. As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. So even when Christ comes back and he has all the nations before him, he's going to separate them. Because it's not meant for us to be a melting pot as America is today, or Babylon the Great is today. The melting pot where everybody can come and be whoever they want to be and mix and intermingle. No, the Lord is not dealing with that. Everybody has their own land a lot. Everybody has to be separated in their own place. That's how the Most High set it up back in Deuteronomy 32. He set up everybody's land and where they were going to be according to the land that he gave to the children of Israel. Right? Verse 33. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, the righteous, but the goats on the left, the wicked. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. right? So he's going to set the Israelites in their rulership state, in their sovereign state, as they were intended to be from the foundation of the world. And the wicked are going to be subjugated back to their subservient state as they should be, right? And with that, I say all praise to the Most High Yahweh, Shema Mashiach Yahushua. I pray this lesson was edifying to all of the family that tapped in today. I pray everybody's having a peaceful Shabbat today, very productive Shabbat. Khan, all praises, Sister Milk, all praises. Khan, rulership mindset. And that's what brothers and sisters got to get back to. We got to get back to that rulership mindset, right? Understanding that we are the top nation on the face of the earth as we were intended to be. That's how we should be operating right now, right? The kingdom of heaven is within you. We have to start manifesting that now by what? Our actions, how we operate with one another, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and the faith in Christ. Those are the saints, right? So with that, family, I pray everyone is doing well. I pray I have a beautiful rest of y'all Sabbath. Thank y'all for tapping in with me. Pray the lesson was edifying. That I'm going to say Godspeed.